Good morning, students living all around the world. In my previous video, in which I have explained, I have given some introduction to economics, right? From this video onwards, I'll be explaining various chapters of both micro as well as macroeconomics, which will be beneficial for all the students of commerce and arts, of the students living around the globe, whoever follows Indian curriculum, right? Within India, whatever the board which you belong to, the state boards, the Central Board of Secondary Education and Council ICSE. For you all, the videos will be very beneficial. It is not only for those people who are giving the competitive examination to refer only for a particular topic. It is particularly designed, it is particularly modified, it is particularly made for the students of class 11th and 12th, irrespective of the boards they belong to. Is that clear? Hope you all have watched the first video I posted on YouTube on 23rd of July. Right? Okay, students, let me start with chapter number 1. Alright? Before I go into chapter number 1 of microeconomics, I would like to explain the meaning of certain important terms of the subject economics. Okay? Let me start with term number 1. Economy. What do you mean by economy? We must study what is economy, what are economic activities. Then only you will be able to understand what is economics. Then its division into micro and macro. Okay? So here we go. Term number 1, economy. What do you mean by economy? Simple term. It is the sum total of all economic activities. So it looks simple, but for you to have a broader knowledge and knowledge forever, we must learn what are economic activities. If you learn economic activities, it will be easy for you to understand the meaning of what is economy. It is the sum total of all economic activities, or it is a system by which the people of an area, the people living in an area earn their income, earn their living, earn their livelihood. Okay? When we talk about area, it may be a village, it may be a town, it may be a district, it may be a state, it may be a country. So, wherever the people are living in, how the people earn their income or their basic livelihood, that is called economy. Now, in the first meaning I told, economic activities. So, students, you must really understand what activities are called economic activities. So, being a student of economics, you must understand what activities are called economic activities. We human perform many activities, but all activities cannot be called as economic activities. So there are certain conditions. There are certain conditions to be fulfilled to call the activities we perform as economic activities. So what is that condition? Those activities, not all, those activities which the people perform, an individual or firm performs for the purpose of earning money, income or profit. Only those activities are called economic activities. Okay, why I use the word only those activities? I told you all activities, whatever we perform, all are not called economic activities. The activities which fulfill the condition of the motive or the purpose must be to earn money, to earn an income or to earn profit. Those activities only are called economic activities. Some of them are called non-economic activities. So I'll give an example each. For example, there is an individual. There is an individual who performs an activity. Okay. For example, I work for a school. Right? Your father works in a bank. Your mother works in a school. Your brother is working for a multinational company as a manager. So whatever the activities these people perform for with the motive of, with the aim of earning their income, those activities are called economic activities. Rest of them are not called economic activities. For example, you are so kind. You earn a lot of income by performing some activities. With whatever the income you have earned, okay, you do some charity. Charity in the sense, you help the poor people. How? By donating a part of your income that you have earned through economic activities. So, you are helping a blind man to cross the road. You are helping a blind man to cross the road. You help a child of a poor family by paying his or her school tuition fees. Okay. So whatever you do, these are charity work. But what is the motive of these two activities I have told you? The purpose of these activities is not to earn income, not to earn profit or not to earn money. It is just for your soul satisfaction. Therefore, these activities are non-economic activities. But in the meaning of economy, we include only economic activities. Now, till now I have explained only two terms. What is an economy and what are economic activities? Now, third term, economics. What is economics? It is a subject that you study. Okay? Like what is mathematics? It has its own meaning as a subject. What is physics? What is chemistry? And what is biology? Similarly, what do you mean by economics? It is basically a subject. It is a subject which deals with rational management of. Rational means by using the sixth sense. Whatever the decisions we make, that is called rational management of the limited resources. The rational management of limited resources or available resources in such a way, the aim is to maximize the satisfaction of consumer, producer and all types of people living in an economy. So, it is basically a subject that deals with rational management of the available limited resources with which we can maximize the satisfaction of consumer, producer and other people living in an economy. Okay. Then, after you understand economics as a subject, then you should know its types. Even in the introduction video that I posted on 23rd of July, I have already explained this particular subtopic, that economics is basically divided into two parts. One is microeconomics, other one is macroeconomics. Now, let me explain to you what is microeconomics. Micro means small, tiny, okay, small level. What is microeconomics? It is a subject. It is that part of economics that deals with the problems, that understands the problems of an economy from the point of view of one consumer, one producer, one firm, one industry. That part of the economics that deals with understanding the economic problems from the view of the small unit of an economy, like one consumer, one producer, one firm, and one industry. That part of the economics is called microeconomics. Two examples I give you. Number one, suppose there is an individual. He works as a labor in a factory. So the factory owner has to decide that level of wages that he or she must be paid. So example number one, determining the wages of laborer. Example number two, imagine you own a factory. You manufacture a product. Let us assume this is a product that you manufacture. After the manufacturing is over, you will have to sell. But before you sell, you have to decide the price at which it has to be sold. So determining the price of your product, determining the wages to be given to your labor, these two are examples of the topics you will discuss in microeconomics. Now macro. Macro is another part. Therefore, macroeconomics is that part of the economics that deals with, that understands the economy and its problem as a whole. The problems of an economy as a whole. The problems of a country as a whole. What is the meaning of as a whole? Try to understand the economy. Try to understand the problems of an economy from the view of all consumers together, all producers together, all firms combined, all industries together. That part of the economics is called macroeconomics. Example, I told you in my first video also how to calculate the national income. National income means the income of the whole country, the income generated in the whole economy. Whole economy means macroeconomics. Second example, aggregate demand. Aggregate means total. Aggregate demand, aggregate supply. So this is another example of the subject matter of macroeconomics. So far we discussed with certain terms. First I told you what is economy, then economic activities, then economics as a subject, then its types, micro as well as macro. Now the next topic is economic problem. There are problems everywhere. There is a problem. Without problem, there is no excitement, there is no further growth in the life of human beings. So in the economy also, we face some problems. What is the basic problem of an economy? And why does it arise? This is what we are going to discuss in this topic. Economic problem. How do we understand the meaning of economic problem? It is basically the problem of choice. It is basically the problem of choice. Which problem? The problem that arises, the problem that occurs because of scarcity of resources. Scarcity means not having large quantity. We need more quantity, but what is available is less quantity. That situation is called scarcity. The scarcity of resources compared to unlimited human wants. Human wants are always unlimited. We never limit our wants and needs. We have unlimited needs and wants. But in order to fulfill the unlimited human wants, we need resources in abundance. Abundance means unlimited. But unfortunately, the resources are limited and human wants are unlimited. Number 2, resources having alternative uses. Alternative means many. Every resource has many uses. A resource does not have only one use. It has many uses. Right? So these are the two main reasons. Few more we will discuss little later. But as of now, economic problem means it's a problem, basically a problem of choice. Why does it arise? It is because of these two reasons. See, we have used the word resources. What is the meaning of resources of an economy? I already explained in the first video, right? Resources, some are natural resources, some are physical resources, financial resources, human resources. Resources means, resources here refers to factors of production. If you want to produce a commodity, if you want to render a service, what do you need as a manufacturer? You need land, labor, capital and your intellectual skill called entrepreneurship. So these four are called factors of production, and the factors of production only are called resources in economic terms. Now, why do we need these four factors? These are the factors which are used in the production of a commodity or in rendering the service with the aim of earning income, money or profit. So these are called the factors of production, and factors of production are also called resources, and this is what we have to learn in this topic. Now, after understanding the meaning of economic problem, then we should understand causes or reasons. Why does economic problem arise? What are the causes or what are the reasons? Students, this is one of the topic from which questions are asked in the examination, in the final examination, in the board examination. Right? Why does economic problem arise? Economic problem arise because of the following causes or reasons. Let's analyze one by one. Number 1, unlimited human wants. Human wants are always unlimited. How do we say that human wants are unlimited? Suppose, let us take an example of your own self. Okay? As an individual, you have one desire. You want something. Your parents fulfill your want. If your first want is fulfilled, then comes your second want. Your mind is never satisfied with only one want. Your first want is fulfilled by your parents, then you go for another want, second one. That is also fulfilled by your parents, then you go for third one, and it continues forever. Till the last breath of our life, there is never an end to the wants of human beings. Therefore, it is accepted that our desires, our wants are always unlimited. But all the wants in our lifetime cannot be fulfilled. There are hundreds and thousands and lakhs of wants an individual has. But in his lifetime, he won't be able to fulfill all his or her different kind of wants. Therefore, what an individual has to decide, the individual has to decide the priority. Priority means choice. Which wants ought to be fulfilled first? Which wants ought to be fulfilled at present? And which wants can be fulfilled later on. So we have to give the priority of all our unlimited human wants. Second one, scarcity of resources. Okay, I told you have unlimited desires, you have unlimited wants. Why all your wants cannot be fulfilled? What is the problem in it? The problem is because of limited resources. I already told you what are resources. Resources here refers to the factors of production: land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. These are called factors of production, and these resources or factors are not available in large quantities. The resources are available in less quantities, but human wants are unlimited. Therefore, all the goods and services in unlimited quantities to fulfill your needs cannot be produced. Therefore, the unlimited human wants and the limited resources, they both go together. They both go hand in hand. Third one, alternative uses of resources. Resources means factors of production. What are called the factors of production? Land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. Now, let us talk about one resource. A resource does not have only one use. It has alternative means various uses. So therefore, the economic problem arises. We have to take a decision. What type of decision we have to take? For example, let us talk about land. What is land? Land is one of the resources. That land does not have only one use. It has many or alternative uses. For example, you have a piece of land. Suppose you have few acres of land, or you have a small piece of land. What is land? It is one of the factors of production or resource. Do you think the land can be put in use for only one reason? Land can be used for various purposes. Suppose you have a piece of land. This land can be used for making your dream home. So land can be used for construction of your residence. Or that land can be used for construction of a factory to produce goods with the aim of earning profit. Or that land can be used for making for making hall, a marriage palace, or a shopping mall, or a cinema hall, or an entertainment theme park, or at least for children park. Isn't it? Land is one. That one land at one time can be used only for one particular use. It can be used for only one particular use, but it has alternative uses. Therefore, the problem of choice, economic problem arises. So when there are so many alternatives in front of you, it is you, the owner of the land, who has to make a decision for what purpose or for what reason you are going to use your land. Right? Fourth one is urgency of human wants. I told you, you want many things, but the most important thing here you have to learn is all your wants are not equally important. Some are more important, called urgent. Some are less important, and some are not important. Because you have all the human wants are different types. Some are urgent needs which cannot be postponed to the future, whereas there are some other wants which can be postponed to the nearest future. For example, I will tell you one example. Right? You have some money. Money can be used for various purposes. Right? Money can be used for various purposes. Now, it is up to you for what purpose you are going to actually use that particular money. right? That is an example. Because suppose with that money, you have to make a decision. Imagine you are a student, you have some money. With that money, you can buy the stationery items which are required for tomorrow's board examination. Or that money can be used for watching a movie in a cinema hall. Or that money can be used for visiting an ice cream parlor to taste ice creams. But here you have to make a priority. You have to make a priority for what particular use am I going to use this money. You have to differentiate all your wants as in case of priority. Which wants are to be fulfilled now itself, which cannot be postponed to the future, and which wants can be postponed to the future. Therefore, these are the causes or reasons why economic problem arise. So students, this is the end of this particular video. Students, you need only one thing. You need patience. You need to develop interest. You need to develop love on this particular subject, economics. Why? As I already told you, for several thousands of students, economics is their favorite. Why? Because there is a huge potential, there is a huge chances of scoring 100 out of 100 compared to the possibility of scoring 100 in other subjects including language. So children, please continuously watch my video. Even one lesson I will be explaining in 3 or 4 different videos, depends upon the length of the video. So you have to put them in the sequence form. So that I will be mentioning in the YouTube. So this is the first part. This is the first part of lesson number 1. In the second video of lesson number 1, I will be explaining the different types of economy and some of the techniques the economy teaches us. Thank you for watching. Share this video with all your known, and you also get benefit, and let others also benefited because of your recommendation. Thank you. Bye.